Graduates, good evening, good evening. Wagwan pan watagwan, graduates. That's so I want to jump on fast. Oh Lord Jesus, the whole of my laptop way under the chair. Let me show my face for a little bit before we get started. Let me show my face for a little bit. What's popping? What's popping? What's popping? Wagwan, graduates, wagwan, wagwan, wagwan. Look here. We're going at something, But as I said on my Facebook page, I'm about to have some unpopular opinions about this whole saga with Justin and Korra Obidi. Yep, some unpopular opinions. So we'll on a seatbelt. You understand? Yes, we'll on a seatbelt. Good evening. Let me see who is here. Graduates, good evening, good evening. Let me see who's here. Right, hold on then. Let me screenshot that. What you screenshot? Hold on, let me start off from the top. Girl, so nice. Big up your nice, clean self. Marencha Dawn, big up yourself. I see you. Shy Trini, that's a good question. Yes. Is he any different? I wonder, is he any different? Hmm. Good evening, Vanessa, my member. Yvette Shah, big up yourself. Charmaine, big up yourself. Good afternoon, Head Teacher K and Graduates Blessings. Good afternoon, June, to wherever you are in the world. Olivine, good day. Good day from Queens, New York in the building. Sonia Pink, good day, good day. Bro Shaka, big up yourself. Yvette Sharp, big up yourself. Yes, there was no sounds, Eslin, because I turned it off because there was a bit of an echo, so I had to sort that out. Um, as you come through the door, please like, share, and subscribe. After all, mark yourself present on the register. Let me pin that message. Hi, Carrie. What's up, hon? What's up, Wagwan Shy Trini? Medea, Medea. Danica, big up yourself. Arlene Millwood, good evening. Who else is here? Inca, big up yourself. Who else? Who else am I missing? I think I have hailed everybody. Okay. First things first. Big up yourself, Marsha. Antigua in the house. Patsy, big up yourself. I like Antigua, I've been to Antigua more than once. Look, Korra. I'm going to start with Korra first, right? Now, when I put these things on my Facebook page, often it's because I really want to gauge the audience and see where you guys are coming from. I want to see what the opinions are because that fascinates me more than anything. You guys know I love to research. So yes, I'm a bit of a researcher. And often it's about researching what the public opinion is. And you know what I noticed? How quickly we are to judge, how quickly we are to condemn. And it's very interesting because I actually find the majority are condemning Korra. And I'm thinking about the fact that the majority in this case are from the diaspora, be it from Africa or elsewhere. There are, of course, quite a few white women who are on the side of Justin Dean. A lot of those profiles that I clicked on, they all had the American, what do you call it, the conservatory flag, the one where the Confederation flag, that they call it, the one where basically the redneck them have. So I've noticed that a lot of these women who came on my page to quickly tear down Korra, a lot of them had these, America for Americans kind of thing going on their profile. They had the Confederate flag of flying in the background, and you can literally smell the pig's feet. Listen. Listen, a lot of these people who came on the comments, I left open the posts so that people from all over could pop on just to get a feel of what the public thought. And it was interesting how underlying some of the resentment towards Korra, there was a lot of racism. But there were some Black women who did not take to tea with Korra at all. And the reason for that was that many times Korra had been found out to exaggerate the truth, embellish the truth. She has been known to blow things out of proportion, make it worse than it actually is. And there is evidence of that on the internet. There is evidence of it. She did come out with this whole thing about, an attack from, the law enforcers, and it turned out that it was the other way around. So that in itself shows that she has got the inclination to embellish. That's one of the reasons why lots of people were not for Korra. They thought, well, this is another one of her embellished lies or downright manufactured. Okay. Another thing that some Black women said was the fact that Korra really likes to do things for clout, that she's all about begging. She begged too much. She beggy. Despite the fact that she has got a massive platform, which is fully monetized, she earns well from Facebook, also from other platforms as well. And therefore, she has no need to be begging for stars and things like that. That she does things to manipulate her audience in order to milk her audience of even more stars. And that she often spins stories for pity and to look like the victim in order to do so. Okay. Now I'm going to say this. There are some instances where really and truly Korra does come across as a beggy individual. Me not go lie. There are times when Korra really and truly you don't need nothing. And you do certain things and you come on and you do it and you start to beg for the stars. And I've seen you throw temper tantrums when the stars are not given. Yes, I see you throw temper tantrums. And you act as though your audience has to give you stars, right? I've seen situations where you could have spent a little on yourself or even on your audience, and you have not done so. I rarely ever come across such a mega influencer who does not do some element of charity. You do come across as being all for yourself, all your earnings for yourself and for your kids. There are times when I can't understand why it is that you can't sort out things like daycare, childcare effectively and efficiently, considering how much you earn. Yeah. Taking things like a secondhand bed when you were starting over, I don't think you needed to do that. But you gave the impression to the public that you needed to do that. And you definitely did not need to do that. Because what leaked afterwards was that you were earning more than enough to be able to fully furnish your flat without having to take anything secondhand from anybody. It gave the impression that you were destitute when you did it, and you really didn't need to do all that. Remember, you crossed over into the Jamaican diaspora where you turned up at an award ceremony. And I'm not going to lie. Rumors have it that you were quite costly to the budget for that Jamaican award ceremony that took place in Canada. You cost a lot of money. But what I saw as a performance, to be honest, was to me not that great. It really wasn't all that. Am I the only person? Am I the only person who thinks so? Right, so let me see. Don't you know begging is a job on social media? Trust and believe it is. But honestly, when you get to that level of mega influencer, you don't need to. You don't need to beg that much. You really don't. Nadia, you don't know nothing about Korra. Nadia, if you're gonna come for me, please make sure that you know how to spell no. It's K-N-O-W, not N-O, okay? All right, good. Nice one. Okay. Exactly those are the reasons I don't like her watch her, especially when she rent the U-Haul vehicle. Yeah, and drove it. And I'm just like, my goodness, she made the whole thing look like I'm suffering. I'm so destitute. I don't have enough money to make ends meet. It was a bit extra, right? It was a bit extra. Wrenches, what are you doing? It was you for mind your own business, and yet you are here up in my soup and up in my Kool-Aid, right? You are here up in my soup and up in my Kool-Aid, Nadia Williams. Why don't you go straight to traffic and kick rocks? Hey, Nadia Williams, I said what I said. You're too enough. What are you doing on my platform? Eh? You're too enough, right? If you do not have anything to say, make sure that you keep your kin quiet. You understand me? Or exit because nobody invited you here. Right, that's all. You will never be able to type again. Anyway, like I said, there was absolutely no reason at all for Korra to do the breakup the way she did. I think she did exaggerate it. Those were the unpopular things. Here they go. I knew they were gonna run out, Pamela. Are you jealous of Korra like so many others? Are you for real? I love Korra. Don't block her for that. No, I'm not. Those were my unpopular things. I've said it. No. For those of you who are graduates and you know how this platform works, I will say on both sides the honest truth. That is why lots of people don't support Korra. That is why lots of people find Korra's platform a turnoff. Does that deny the fact that Korra is talented? Does that deny the fact that Korra is a fascinating character, a free spirit, really, really a happy person to watch? No, it doesn't. She does good content and she deserves all the popularity that she gets. Does it also deny the fact that Justin, who Korra says was abusive in their relationship, actually was? I don't think that when it comes to the reasons behind their divorce, that Korra is necessarily lying. I think that there is a lot of truth in the things that she said. So we are going to explore whether or not Justin is actually any different when it comes to Korra. He describes her as being what you would call, I don't know, somebody who craves attention. He calls her a narcissist. And all those things that he says about Korra, I have seen so much evidence of that in Justin himself. So let's take a look. Right. So I'm going to go forward and make sure that I'm not missing any of the comments because I didn't know, so tonight I'm going to be fiery, you know. I know, so because this is some of you people, you think with your hearts and not with your brain. And that is normal for people who have got very limited capacity to reason. But BC Become graduates are on here. They know exactly where I'm coming from. Right. So I find it hard to believe that she would go so low for publicity. Yes, I do find it so hard to believe that she would. But I think that during the breakup, there were times when she definitely tried to make it look worse because remember, she was fighting for custody for her children. He wanted full custody and she needed to make sure that that did not happen. So by using her platform to actually, I would say, accentuate what was reality, meaning make it even worse, then it would have worked in her favor. Remember, at that point, when it comes to going for your kids, it's fight or flight mode that we are in, right? You are so right on about Korra. I love hearing the truth for a change. Thank you very much. You're welcome, Lee. Gotta rewatch. I used to be an avid watcher, but the way she treats her children, I do believe she don't want full custody. Well, that's an interesting perspective. Can't say much. I recently started watching her. Fair enough. I agree with you, HTK. Stars make me was. Carrie. Was I unfollowed her a long time ago because of how she treats her kids. Don't dislike her, but some of her ways irks my skin. I saw a video with Justin sitting down on Korra with his hands around her neck, and she just got a baby. Well, she volunteered for that. That was a whole kind of, he does this chiropractic. I don't know if it's chiropractic. What's the word? He does this thing where he works on people's bodies, and she was happy with it. They both have some issues. Linda G, exactly. Justin is no different. He begs on social media for his kids as well. Yes, I saw him with a big old container of secondhand clothing. And then he did a recent live where he was like, please stop sending me clothing. And then he's going through it. And then he's like, oh, this piece is cute. I'll keep it. Like, for real? Make your mind up. Ouch, knew her from the time she did. So you think you can dance with her big belly? She never impressed me. Chanel, behave your damn self. Honestly, behave yourself. She can dance. She can. I certainly can't do the things that she's doing with her waistline and all that. I think she can dance. Right. So I think I've caught up on some of the comments. Okay, yeah, she can dance. Okay. So yes, as I said, there are things that I've seen that Justin does. And as you know, he's now come out with this whole thing where he's going to be doing a series of videos if Kora does not apologize for the so-called lies that she's told on their relationship. He has come out and said that he is going to tell his truth. So we're going to listen to the preface and we're going to discuss it. And we're going to listen to the first part of the series of these videos, okay? But then we're going to go backwards to the one he did yesterday, and we're going to make a comparison. Because really and truly, I think some people hear, but they don't listen. And we really have got to listen keenly to what this man is saying. Now, before you all start with your I'm pro Kora, I'm poor Justin fight, because we know what you guys are like, especially the fans over that side of the world. I don't know why y'all are so fanatic. No worse than the Plancateri and them. I'm not gonna lie. So before you guys start with all of that, let the record show that HTK does believe that this man is capable of being a good father, that he has shown that he loves his little girls, but that there are several wants and needs when it comes to their parenting style. And I'm talking about his as well as Kora's. Both of these parents are fairly young parents, and none of us, when we were young parents, ever got it right. So there is no handbook. There is no perfect image of a parent, especially when they're your first children coming up. You may do a little bit better with the next one and so on. Lots of little mistakes may have been made with June, right? So at the end of the day, when they have the next one, it's going to be a little bit less. But it doesn't mean that they are still perfect parents. There's very few to non-existent perfect parents out there. So I don't want this to ever be about that. But I really want to look at how they treat each other as opposed to how they treat the children. And then we're going to look at what the effect might be on those kids. Right. Make we go down in it. Okay, bear with. Hold on, guys. I'm going to share my screen, okay? Thumbs up when you can see my screen, please. Thumbs up when you can see my screen. Hey, he wants the Risa Tisa effect. Yes, my love. He was being sarcastic and mimicking Kora. Yeah. I don't watch her nor him. Yes, they're not my cup of tea. Mrs. Sintin. Brashaka, just sit down and watch. Both of them are to be blamed for everything that is going on, and they need to resolve things in privacy because children are involved. I don't trust him either. There is something about Justin. I don't trust him at all. All right, let's see what's going on. Okay, so this is his preface.
Hi everyone, good morning. Happy Monday morning. It is a overcast and foggy Monday morning here in LA, Los Angeles. Good morning, good morning. So I'd just like to start this preface because this week is going to be probably a series of videos, and I want to give a preface to anybody that doesn't know the story, what's going on, essentially. Um, but this is the gist of it. I got divorced, and since I got the divorce, I have been accused of domestic violence. I have been accused of stealing. I have been accused of attempted murder. I have been accused of everything under the sun. Been accused of rape. I've been accused of sexually molesting my daughters. I have been accused of everything you could possibly think of. And for the last 2 years, I've taken it on the chin and just tried to ignore it, tried to live my life and not participate in the negativity. Um, I'm finally in a place where I am emotionally, spiritually, and physically healthy enough to deal with what comes next. Because what will come next is they will come for me to destroy my livelihood, to destroy me as a human, which they've already been doing for 2 years. Currently, at this moment, there are probably about 90 bloggers that are actively, on a daily basis, spreading rumors, spreading lies based on the statements of my ex-wife. She has been continually putting out crazy stuff. Some of the things that I'd like to address, and I'm going to address them with proof, not just with my words, is things like I kicked her out on the street and she was homeless with 2 babies bleeding on the street. That's not true. In fact, it's very easy to prove that lie. That she was abused. She was not abused. I was abused, which I can prove.
Right. So, if you guys remember this whole saga, she had said that she was kicked out of the house. She was asked to leave. She was homeless with her kids, etc. You have heard that she said that she was abused countless times. Oftentimes she hid that and so on. She did say all of that. He is now saying that none of that was true. Now, I find it really interesting that Justin has waited for so long to actually come forward to say that none of these things were true and claiming now that he has got evidence to back it. Is it that this guy is capitalizing on what has recently happened with Korra, in that he's trying to divert the attention that she's having due to the whole thing that took place in London, and he's wanting to pull that attention back to himself as a way of crippling her algorithms, and reinforcing his control over Kora, which is what she said was one of the major problems with him, in that he wanted to control her content, control the money, all of that kind of thing. Okay. Now I'm playing at devil's advocate by saying that. Now, if we were to take Justin's comments at face value, meaning that we were to believe exactly what Justin was saying, yeah, it says to me that we often try to dismiss the fact that men can also be victims of DV. We're not as, I don't know, we don't show as much empathy when it comes to men making such claims, because usually the percentage of victims are much higher when it comes to the female gender, right? And because we heard it from her that this was the case first, we are not we're not we're not really thinking that he might be telling the truth. But what if he is? What if it's possible that he may be innocent in that respect and he hasn't been given the platform for his truth? Maybe because of the stereotypes that we have, we tend to not give a listening ear. Just being, trying to be objective here. Let's keep listening.
But there's that. She put out that I beat her up and she had a miscarriage. All of this stuff, she put in a restraining order, which made me lose my kid. She said I pulled a knife on her. She said all kinds of things that just were not true. I treated that woman with love, respect, and I dedicated my life to seeing her grow. And this is what I got in return because I left because I was unhappy and much more. So this is just a preface. I have a busy morning. I have a patient in about 20 minutes that I need to leave for here soon. But it's time that I start to stand up for myself because this is getting too far. This is getting ridiculous. And I'm fully aware that all the toxic women that believe her lies are going to come after me harder than ever before. And I am now in a place where I can handle that. I don't think many of you can relate to what it's like to have people halfway across the world, in Nigeria mostly, attempt to destroy your life. They actively did destroy my business. I was down 90% in revenue. They destroyed my mental health. They destroyed my physical health. And they destroyed my spiritual health. Which I based on lies. Complete, bogus, fabricated lies. I've already proved this in a court. The restraining order was dropped due to me being able to prove that she was lying. But that did not.
Hey, una in a comment have beat Justin bad enough. Una in the comments have beat Justin bad. Listen, guys, I'm trying to be objective here. Let me just listen.
Stop her from perpetuating this stuff on the internet. And why would she do so? For money, for fame. There's no easier way for a woman to get famous than to claim domestic violence, especially since I'm a white man and she's a black woman. Everyone's going to sympathize with her. And that's just the nature of society today. Men are guilty until proven innocent.
So wait a minute, hold on. Those of you, anybody on here in biracial relationships, can I just ask a question? Is it likely a percentage that because she is in a relationship with a white man, that there is likely to be DV? Am I hearing correctly? Because usually from what I understand, it's the other way around, that usually when it's a black male and a white female, that they are more likely to be more aggressive with the pursuit of DV, as opposed to the other way around. That it tends to be the case that, they look at the black woman as some kind of gold digger, or that she's looking for papers, as opposed to the white partner being stereotyped as somebody who might be abusive. I find that a little bit of a shaky argument. Anybody on here in biracial relationships who are aware of the stereotypes of these kind of things? Because that sounds to me like a very strange perspective. So let me take a look at some of the comments here and see what people say. The only time I heard the girl talk about this man is when he kept the child out of school. Yeah, I remember that video. You hardly hear Kora mention his name on her live. He's just obsessed with her. She really hardly ever mentions him these days. She's moved on from what I can see. Men usually don't come out to talk about that. Yes, Debbie. And this is one of the things I'm trying to keep an open mind about with my graduates, that is it possible that we're missing something here, that he really was, and he was too embarrassed to come forward. She even said that first he was antisocial media, but after he realized how much money was made, he kept harassing her always to go live, even when she didn't want to. She said that, but Dawn, there was something contradictory in what she said about that, because I remember her saying that they both made the decision to go to use social media, that he encouraged her to build her page and her platform before she even became popular, and that he said that he would actually dedicate the time to manage her to do so. So which is it? Why wait now to talk? He saw a way to build up his views. Right, Monica. But, if we were to follow the mantra that he's possibly a silent victim, we wouldn't say that if we were speaking about females, because sometimes women don't speak for years after they've experienced something. Yes, it's Medida. Okay, let me carry on. Why don't he just get along with his life and just be a father to his children? He finds a new way to make money out of what happens in England. Right. And that's why I was saying as well, the timing of this almost feels as though he is detracting from the audience that she would have had due to the whole thing with what happened in England, and trying to stop the algorithms from working in her favor. This man could have take back Cora papers and send her back. All will be well with him. That is another point. He could have, but remember, Suzette, I think that she would have had a strong case to remain. I don't know very much about the American law, but I know that certainly in the UK, when you claim your residency on the basis of being a victim of DV, you are more likely to get it independent of your partner, right? You run up on social media and never know it would be to some bad. Lisa, I don't think he was prepared for what was about to happen, because he was the one who came out first with the whole thing and brought it to the public eye. So you are agreeing with me, Thea and Dawn? No, it's not the norm in terms of stereotypes. I that's what I thought. I was like, that's a very odd stereotype. Cora don't give Justin any notice. The sister Nancy is the one who always answer him and not Cora. And Simone, I also have a feeling about that really and truly, Nancy has been extremely vocal. We know she's defending her sister, but I often think some of the things that she says actually makes things worse. My gut feeling telling me he's trying to cover up something while he's talking. No, well, you never know. You think that, M. Stain, do you think that might be do with what happened in London? What is Yes, and I said, cry, baby, walla, dumpling. Put your finger in your mouth and tell your mama something. You think he's playing the victim, in other words. I do believe his genuine hate of his ex has to do with the investment in her citizenship, as well as he feels that he has first dibs to the money and fame. He feels slighted. Yes, I sympathize with that comment. My husband is white, and everyone always sympathizes with him. They think I am the aggressor. Thank you, Diana. Thank you. So when he said that, I thought to myself, for every person I know that has been or is in a biracial relationship, it has never been looked at with a white male. It has never been looked at that the white male would be an aggressor in the relationship. It's always the other way around, that the black female is there to purely capitalize on the white male. So I don't quite know where he gets that idea from, that Korra would be working the system especially because he's a white male and she's a black female. Therefore, the whole thing about DV would have sucked more. I don't agree. Anyway, Michael Wallace.
Not the only man this has happened to. This has happened to an Australian man, very nice man, Jamie Perkins. This has happened to La Truth. This has happened to many men. And I have come to the place where, regardless of the consequences that happens after this, whether I'm harassed or whether I'm taken to court, it's time that I'm a man of principle and integrity. Am I perfect? Am I innocent in this story? Absolutely not. Nobody's innocent in divorce. It's just not. Like, nobody's innocent in a toxic relationship. My relationship was on social media, and my divorce was on social media. But the lengths and levels that it went is simply unacceptable. It's all for money. It's all for sympathy. And it's it's really mental health disorders, really, truly. So I'm going to start going play by play. This is going to be a this is going to be a multi-video series, and it's going to be told from some of it, some of you guys have heard before, some of you guys are new, so I'm going to tell the story like it's like somebody knows nothing so that they can understand context. I am standing up for men everywhere.
Here they.
Because it is insane what is going on. And it is it's really sad because this is the mother of my children. Everyone is coming after me for saying I'm trying to destroy the mother of my children, and I'm totally not. She's trying to destroy me. Like I said,
Sure.
she accused me of domestic violence. She accused me of beating her up and having a miscarriage. She accused me of being abusive, all of which I can prove I didn't do. Did I sometimes yell and scream and cuss at her? Absolutely, I did. Men tend to do that when you make them question the paternity of the.
Now, I really wonder whether or not Justin would have come forward and actually accepted this and made it public that he is this kind of person if the video did not leak from Korra's friend when he was busy swearing at her in front of the kids. I really wonder.
Children. It's not something you can stay calm through. So, I mean, that's where we're gonna go. So, the best place to start, which I'll have to do after all my morning patients, is start from the beginning, how we met, how it went, things that transpired, and then go through there, and then go through the lies one by one. We're going to dissect them.
So, because Korra is known to be so beggy, which she is, Ubex, it's a very easy thing to stick on her that she's doing all of this for the money. And it also buys into that stereotype that I know about, where they think that Black women latch on to white males in order to either be gold diggers or for papers. So they're looking for economic stability. That's the stereotype, right? And he is selling a story that, to me, would fit right into that stereotype. But he's throwing in a lot of red herrings. If you notice what he's Justin, it's so hard for the public to actually say, yes, you know, you were a silent victim. Korra's completely wrong. No matter how much we know Korra has flaws, right? It's when you do things like, oh, I'm about to see some patients in a matter of moments. You keep reinforcing that you are a doctor of some type. Therefore, you know, people like this with patients, they're usually people who are upstanding and trusted. It's a psychological thing that you're doing because you're throwing it in there because you're trying to show that you are a representable citizen of the United States of America who's being targeted by a foreign female who is as you said, abusing you by sending out 90 bloggers. I mean, goodness me, yet Justin, there is so much evidence on social media of you communicating with these bloggers off air. I could pull up all kinds of screenshots, but really and truly it's a waste of time. People can just Google that. It's all over Facebook. You can just search for it. Where you're seen communicating with even Lola, who you know absolutely despises your ex, in order to arrange potential interviews and meetings and things like that, rather than use your own platform. So I want to know, why is it that you feel the need to keep going, oh, I'm a doctor, in the middle of what is supposed to be an act of spite and vengeance, because that's what this is. Regardless of whether or not it's your truth, it's an act of spite and vengeance. Because you are taking your vengeance against the bloggers who are making up stories according to you, and you're also taking vengeance against your ex, who you think has manufactured stories about you to your detriment. You remember you said you lost 90% of your revenue. So really, the money has, you've lost. You are constantly reminded of how much money she's earning just by her numbers and just by hearing about all those stars that she's getting. And that must irk you. It's hard for me to sit 100% with Justin based on these kind of things that I'm picking up.
Lies.
Okay, so somebody says, I think he's saying he has patience to get to because he does. He's got to go to work, but he'll be back. But Lee, look, 8 minutes in is when he's saying that. There's a whole other 16 minutes left. Why do you need to say you got patience to get to in the first 1/3 of the video? Yeah, when you've got so much other time left, say it in the last 10 minutes or the last 5 minutes. It is tactical, and he does it all the time. I want you to look. The next time he does his video, he always starts off talking about, oh, I've got work to do. But then he spends a whole long time on the live going on about random stuff.
Show you guys with objective proof that she's lying. Why would I do this? I'm tired of being harassed. Truly, I am. It's just not cool. Cyberbullying is not cool. I've been standing up to bullies since I was elementary school on the playground. I was not with the popular crowd. I was with the nerds. I was with the goths. I was with all different types of people. And if I saw someone getting picked on, I was the first to stand up and be like, leave him alone, or leave her alone.
Yes, bro, Shaka, Lee is on his side. Remember, we need to have a few of those. We need to have people who are on both sides, Kora's side and Lee's side. As long as nobody's coming at it from a disrespectful perspective, we're happy to take on different perspectives, right? Okay.
And this is no different. So I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of things coming out, like people trying to discredit what I say. I don't care.
Yes, you do care, Justin.
I have come to the place now where it's like I have a duty to men everywhere to tell my story, and women, because my story is a story of narcissistic abuse. It really is. Like, I identify as a survivor of narcissistic abuse, and not a victim, because I don't have a victim mentality, but I did survive it.
Right.
And it's never going to stop. It's never going to stop. I'm going to get harassed more than ever, and I don't care, because I'm going to speak the truth, and I'm going to get it off my chest. I never wanted to do this. I wanted to move on in my life and co-parent in peace. I still want to co-parent in.
So let me ask you this, graduates. If Justin comes out with this series of videos where he's basically telling all, and he's bearing his soul in order to protect himself, or at least to, to remove all the fraudulent claims against his name from these bloggers, does he genuinely think that it's going to stop? And if it is that one of the biggest things that threw him into depression, that affected his income, all of that was as a result of the stuff being said by bloggers, does he think that this is going to in turn go back towards Kora? Is this his intention, that she should feel whatever it is he went through? Or, is he wanting it to stop? Because it's not going to stop. This is not going to stop it. The more he comes out with information, the more the bloggers are going to kick up a stink. The more the bloggers are going to come forward and ride his name. The more they're going to probably breed people who are followers who will do crazy things, like reach out to his workplace and do all sorts of manipulative things. It's just not going to end.
Peace. But a man has a right to defend his reputation and his livelihood. And that's what she's going after. She's been going after my livelihood.
Listen to this.
For 2 years. None of it's been true, so my livelihood's been secured. But it's getting to the point where it's like, it's okay for a woman to try to destroy a man's life based on lies, but it's not okay for a man to defend himself and tell the truth. There's something wrong with society, and I don't care what I'm harassed by. And those of you that feel the same as me, it's time we start to do something about these bullies. Because I'm strong.
You hear that? This is what I'm talking about, Justin. This is what makes it hard to support you. This right here. Every time you do one of these videos, you weaponize the audience. This was you weaponizing the audience. We've got to do, everybody out there, we've got to do something about these cyberbullies. Is you telling people, yes, to rise up against Korra? That's what you're doing. You may be doing it subtly. You may be using pretty language to pretty it up, but you are using psychology. Yes, you are incensing the public. Using what you would call tag words, words that have got deep emotives attached to it. You know, you say cyberbullying, you're going to get a whole bunch of followers about cyberbullying. You talk about being a survivor of DV, you're going to get a whole bunch of followers who are pro survivors of DV. You're going to get the men who have been through abusive relationships coming forward to have your back, you know. You're gonna have men who feel that they've never been heard, being riled up. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
I'm a very strong person. I was an elite marathon runner. My gift is long suffering. Other people are not as strong. And as you guys saw with Congress, where Mark Zuckerberg was apologizing to parents' kids who committed suicide from bullying on the internet. This is not a victimless crime. We cannot normalize bullying.
How the hell have we gone from I'm so strong, long suffering is my thing, to I'm a victim, no, actually I'm a survivor, to let's stand up against cyberbullies, to think about the kids who have committed the S word because of it. Do you see how he is manipulating this argument in such a way that you would have to be a really bad person to not want to be on his side? You'd have to be a bad person, you know. If you listened to this argument and went, "Gwe, you know I hear not what you have to say, mufreso," right? And you hear that line about children who do this as a result of cyberbullying, and you go like that, the guilt, if you have that kind of a weak conscience, because some of us have got wills of iron and steel, right? The guilt you would feel. You'd have to be a bad person to not agree with him. He is using the art of persuasion.
And harassment on the internet. Have I done it? Yes. Part of this series is going to explain why. The short version is I would never get away from her. I was addicted to the abuse, and I would never be able to walk away unless I made it public. That's the truth. That's why I went public with my divorce. It was the only way I could keep myself from going back. Because if I went back, I would not be alive right now. And that's the truth. Because it was bad. So I got to go to work now. I want to make it very clear I'm not encouraging anyone to harass anyone. This page does not support violence.
Listen to this.
This page does not support cyberbullying. I have been trying for 2 years to keep my emotions in check and just let this storm weather over. And my ex staging a knife attack in London, which I'm completely convinced of it. I've looked at all the evidence. I've talked to detectives. Everyone's unanimously convinced it was fake. And guess who?
God have mercy, Lord have mercy, God. I, the pinnacle of all knowledge, have consulted experts in the field that would only ever converse with me because they're my contacts. And these experts have stood all the way in the United States, observed the videos, no access to CCTV, no access to fingerprinting, no access to the police records over here in the UK. And they've sat behind their desks or their mobile phones or their computers, and they've said that this is all fake. Therefore, take my word for it, because I am the pinnacle of all. Listen. Oh, no, no. See, oh, that's so. Justin, don't you see that that comes across as narcissistic in itself? How are you able to speak on an investigation through a third party that's not even in the flipping country where the incident took place? And why is it that because you've spoken to some random bloke, probably over a few beers, that we should take your word for it that it is a false narrative that she has painted? And I'm not saying that it isn't false. I'm saying that we're taking things on face value. And to me, until investigations take place, I am not going to say it's false. It came across as a very real situation to me and to a lot of people who have been watching. But to a lot of people, it has come across as not real. But I'm saying that for you to say that, no, you're not, you're saying it categorically. You're not saying, you're saying that experts have confirmed that it isn't real. You are saying the word she staged the act. Now that comes across as vindictive. That comes across as you basically trying to tarnish the woman. Why not be smart about experts, even if they know from their years of experience that it couldn't be X, Y, or Z? Why would you share that? Why not pass on what you know to the police in London? If you really and truly want all this fraudulent behavior to stop, take the information that you know from your experts and whatever, and contact. It's on Nancy's page, by the way. You can just contact the Babylon them over here. So. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't look right when you say things like that.
Guess why it was faked? To make it seem like I had something to do with it. I wish my ex-wife well. I want her to succeed. My mentality is the better she does, the better the kids do. But it shouldn't be at the sacrifice of the father. Fathers matter. I'm sticking up for fathers everywhere.
Listen to this now.
And I finally have the courage to speak and defend myself. Why did I not have the courage before? The system. The system. CPS was involved and I was protecting my kids. If I was doing what she was doing, my kids would be in foster care right now. So I had to protect my kids and I had to take the harassment on the chin, but that time has passed. It is no longer present.
What?
Somebody said you will come after
in
women.
God's name, what do you mean by that? What does he mean by that? The system. He had to take all the harassment on the chin because otherwise, if he did what she was doing, his children would end up in foster care. So is it that he kept quiet about all the things that he faced? Remember, he's claiming to be a survivor of DV, so that his children would stay with the mother, so he would have access. I don't know what is happening. So you think that by claiming, now let's really break this down, graduates, because me want to know if me lick my head. Me want to know if me lick my head. But if I am a victim, meaning that I'm going through it, and this person is the person who is the abuser, wouldn't it work in my favor to have my children taken from her on the basis of that claim? Why would you leave the children in the care of the person who you said is the abuser? Surely the system would swing in your favor. And especially given the fact, and we all know this, America don't like foreigners, mate. They like England, you know? They don't want none here. They want them gone. Yeah? So there is so much privilege that's in your corner. And you allowed somebody who you consider to be abusive to have your children in her care. That don't make no sense. No, sir. Graduates, me wrong. Because me I wonder why I go on, yes, so. No, sir, me no know.
I'm not trying to win anything. I'm not trying to win anything at all. I'm trying to help people, because many of you are in toxic relationships. Many of you are being abused by narcissists.
Hear they.
And
weaponizing. Just say what's happening to you, Justin.
Doesn't matter if you have kids, doesn't matter. If you are being abused by a narcissist, it's psychological abuse. It's not necessarily physical abuse. It is psychological abuse. It's addictive. The abuse is addictive. It's like Vegas. The highs and the lows. The highs get you through, and then the lows come, and you're just waiting for the high again. It is addictive. It is exactly like Vegas. It's exactly like
what?
Physiologically, it is an addiction. So I'm not trying to win anything. I'm just tired, and I see it perpetuated everywhere on the internet.
It is what it is.
Say whatever they want
feelings
about a man.
That's a good.
And there's no consequences. Not even in the court system, they don't seem to care. And so men everywhere are getting their lives ruined by women falsely claiming abuse. And most importantly, that completely and utterly makes women that are actually domestic violence survivors feel like they can't come forward, because there's all these women on the internet getting famous and getting all this emotional support, but they're obviously being caught in lies, and it discredits the women that have actually been abused. Personally, my thought is, if you claim to
you see all of this? All of this that he's doing is quite psychological manipulation. You've heard him reach out for representing fathers, reach out for representing survivors of DV. He's reached out for people who are against cyberbullying. He's reached out for parents who've lost children as a result of cyberbullying. He's reaching out to so many political agendas, yes, that he is almost running out of people to call. He is pulling on the heartstrings using the right language. Now, this is all going to make you seem manipulative. It is going to make you seem manipulative. Yes, it can't be looked at in any other way, because listen, if this was really just about you telling your story, you would not need to be drawing links to these bodies of people. You would simply tell your story from your heart, and it would connect with whoever it needs to connect with. The fact that you're doing this almost makes you look like you are putting into practice strategy. That's what it looks like. You're being strategic with your arguments. And when somebody starts out by being strategic with their arguments, it shows that there is a plot. You are planning things to have a deliberate impact on a particular audience. That's manipulation. That's the very art of it. Yeah, he's rounding up the troops. Of course, Kora is cyberbullied constantly. I mean, hello, look at what happened. I mean, if we were to really just look at it, just look at the evidence, right? Then how many parts this? Right. So I'm going to stop it here because he literally repeats the same thing over and over again. Nothing new is said. We're going to stop this share. And we're going to go to, because I'm also conscious of time. And you know, I'm going to like come and stay too long. No, I have my people to go back to. But I'm going to pull up the one he did yesterday. So this is the preface. There is another part to it. You can go on his page. You can watch that. Okay. But we're going to go to the one he did yesterday. Now, I call the ones he did today, the calculated, cool, and calm Justin, right? In those videos he did today, because that was the preface, he says, preface is how I pronounce it, CMT. The ones we listened to today and the ones he did today was him carrying out his very well executed plan of sharing all of the truths, right? So it's pre-planned and whatever. But the one he did yesterday was fully emotive. Not necessarily planned. That was him rolling off whatever was on his chest without much strategy behind it, but still very much there's evidence of the same kind of stuff that we just heard a while ago. And when I heard it, it kind of sent chills down my spine because I said to myself, did he actually think before he spoke on this one? And is he aware of how deeply systemically racist it comes across? And I'll show you why I said that. So just bear with me a second. Let me share this. Thumbs up when you can see my screen. Yes, bro, Shaka. The patient still awake, my love. That is what I was trying to say to the person who spoke earlier. That listen, he's saying that he has patience to see, but this a patient, you just a wait, so, and this man just a talk. So just like how he had in this live, he kept hearing his daughter crying, and it took him ages to go and get her because he had to get what he needed to get off his chest. Why not give the lady her 2 girls and go get 2 more with whoever you want? You sound crazy, bro. The man love his kids. I'm not gonna deny that. He does love his kids, right? But as I said, we're gonna talk about the effect of this on his kids, right? So I'm just gonna scroll because all of this was a silent protest at first. It was all a silent protest, and then it started. Right. Let me see now.
Including all my exes.
Right, hold on. Let me make sure the volume buck. Right.
I wish no ill will towards anyone. I do not wish anyone to suffer in this world. I don't wish any negativity. I wish everyone well, including all my exes and any that I've had in my life. I don't hold grudges, but this shit has gotten too far.
See, when it's that, cause bad one, you know, same man, you know.
Money, it's all for fame, it's all for recognition, and it is disgusting. Like, find some other source of content. A lot of people say, oh, just ignore it, stay silent. I've stayed silent for 2 years. I've been innocent of everything. I've stayed silent. And
you've not really stayed silent though, have you?
It keeps perpetuating. My mom is pissed.
Listen to that.
My mom's ready to go public with the truth. There are monsters in this world, which you need to know. Monsters. People that will hurt anyone to get ahead. I filed a police report. Those of you in London should be pissed. It's a complete waste of taxpayer resources.
Goodness me. So I want you to make a note of all the weaponizing that you're hearing. First thing you heard was, this is a waste of taxpayers' money. That's the first argument, which is a part of systemic racism. The fact that these foreigners, these people who come here to America, are leeches on our system. Pay attention. First argument.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Trust me, another video in vex, you know. I know, calm Justin this, you know, in vex.
I don't need validation. I need to defend my good character and name. People are accusing me of everything under the sun. And I'm just, for the past 14 months, I have not been able to defend myself because of certain jurisdictional issues. Those are no longer in place. Now I can't. Shit's about to hit the fan.
Here they.
Tired of this stuff. It's
Here
like,
they.
come on, guys. Like, it's been 2 years. Can't find a new source of content.
The anger in his voice is unmistakable.
Everyone needs to stop the comparison game. Everyone needs to start, like, if you guys are a fan of me, don't fight with these people. They're sick. They need help. Say positive things. I wish everyone well. I always have.
Okay, so we've had one call for the taxpayers. Now we've got the red herring that's been thrown in there. Don't fight with these people. If you're a fan of me, they're sick people. Don't fight with them, right? Okay, so that's saying the right things, but yet you've already started calling for taxpayers. Anyway, go on, listen.
It's sick. It's a sickness. What's wrong? And it represents what's wrong with our society.
Yes, bro, Shaka, these people. Make no some graduate them sharp, you know, go on, listen.
If I was looking for social media validation, I'd be live 10 hours a day showing all aspects of my life. I'm not trying to be famous. If you guys don't like me, unfollow me. I'm just not. I don't care. I am on social media to help people out of pain, educate people on subjects that I know stuff about.
To be fair, he does share quite a bit of his work online. I'm not going to knock him for that. Many times over the past 2 years, he has been showing him working on patients and stuff like that. He does have a real passion for what he does, right? But the comment, the pot shot that he made at Kora in that line was, if I wanted to be famous, I would be on live 10 hours a day. He's implying that this is what Korra is doing. She's in fact not doing that. Korra comes on live. She doesn't stay that long. She puts up videos from things that she's done throughout the day or whatever, but she goes on about her business. I don't think that's a very fair comment to make.
It's the only reason I'm on social media. It's a good platform to extend my reach and help more people. I'm not fighting you with anyone. In fact, I've been preaching. If I could just show you guys. These are all documented lies.
Look at that.
From the horse's mouth.
Look at that.
These are all documented lies.
Hold on. Let me just pull that out. I want you just look at this.
These are all documented lies.
So, Justin, right? You see, me just did a look on your file, right? You see in a one section of the file, yeah? Me not see no date pan it up here, letter, yeah, you separate it. What each of the letter they mean. Oh, and when you look in a one section of the file, right? Me see one little to pen paper, so one little something, so just one square, so. Stick up in that one little section. And a more than one, me see one little something, so in a one little section, Justin. Make your name put more than one of them. Make your name photocopy. The little something them, so. And the 4 of them on one page. Dude. Why you do it? Justin, why you do it? Why you do that, man? That, okay, you know what that is? That's going, look, the same thing when I see in the next one, you know, Justin, you see, this is how you make it hard. You make it hard for people like us to be on your side. You go, look at me. I am the pinnacle of wisdom and knowledge. I not only speak to experts, but I file categorically everything that has been done because I am making sure that I'm fully prepared. That's not something we needed to see. Dude, we didn't need to see that. Like, for real.
From the horse's mouth. Like, Humpty Dumpty is going to have a great fall, legally speaking. But I don't want any of this. I don't want to fight. I just want to move up. I just want to go into my life. But I get dragged into it.
You see him, I read the comments them. Anytime him angry, that him do. When him not angry and him a focus for what I say him to read.
Just don't argue with people. I wish them well. Like, that's all we can do in this situation. I've remained silent. I have took the harassment, the destruction of my reputation, my character, my businesses, and still wishing people well.
Still wishing people well, Justin. Justin, you're still wishing people well, but yet I saw you actually place on your page, and it's on my Facebook, guys. In the comments, you said that you would rather have a real acid poured on your face than to ever love Kora again. Wishing people well. I'm not certain necessarily you're always doing that. But what I'm going to say is this, and this is totally in your defense. I have seen bloggers come forward and literally make up stuff about you and put it as clickbait. It's the truth. They have targeted you. Lots of, particularly the Nigerian bloggers. I've seen some of the headlines that are blatant lies. I've posted one on my page recently. Blatant lies. Claiming that you're the one who did, you know, arrange the whole thing, the attack that happened in London, blah, blah, blah. there's no evidence of that, just like there's no evidence against, but there's no evidence for. You know, maybe you've said stuff that they've put two and two together and said it must be you, but we have to be so careful when we say these things definitively. You can ask questions, you can wonder if, but you can't say for sure that that's what's taken place. And a lot of these bloggers are very careless and very reckless with the things that they've said, both against you and against Korra. It's not just you, it's also her. But of course, it's no longer your job to stand in her corner. So you have to fight your own case. And like I said, if it is that you were in fact a victim and you're saying that you could not come forward, what I'm saying is that it didn't make sense to not come forward when fighting for your custody case, because that is a ripe piece of evidence, a very good side to fight on in order to gain custody for your children. So I don't see how silence would have necessarily earned you any merit in that respect. If anything, it would have swung the case in your favor. It's odd that you chose not to use it at a time. Remember, you said you don't see yourself as a victim. You see yourself as a survivor, that you are from a background of long suffering. So you know how to survive things. But then you are put in a position where you're standing before a judge and you are presenting your reasons for your custody arrangement, and you don't mention the fact that she was in fact the abuser. It's strange.
I started telling my side of the story, which I have no desire to do because I have no desire to spread further drama in the world. I have no desire to fight. I would like to co-parent in peace. I would like to raise my kids in peace. It is becoming impossible. Like there is something wrong with society today. There's something wrong with society today. We are so polarized that it's us versus them. Nobody seeks the truth anymore. They just look for things that justify their biases. It's a sickness, and I'm just like, I think I belong in a different time, maybe 1940s, maybe the Revolutionary War, maybe the Civil War era.
Hey, I wonder if you know what he just did there. So he's just literally gone to the time where a Confederate flag was being flown. Anyway, let's keep going.
I think I belong in this timeline. I just cannot see how people are so brainwashed to just believe anything they hear. It's a wow factor for me. I'm constantly in awe of what people believe.
Let me read what
Stand my ground.
Let me read what Tammy said here. Kora and Justin are two peas in a pod. They both have manipulated each other. And the thing they've both come to realize is that people are brutal. You can't win. Exactly. And I said that earlier in the live in a Tammy. I want to see one of them coconut head when they run out, ready for concuss and talk about how me jealous. You understand? Yeah. And I'm like, you guys, you have a problem admitting the truth. And this is what is not facilitated in this classroom. We can see clearly where Kora was not 100% innocent. And her behaviors have contributed to a lot of the things that she's facing on social media. But so too, Justin. I don't believe that Justin is innocent at all. And just listening to how he speaks, people would have to wonder whether or not he's manipulating them. He's not doing himself any justice.
That's right. I'm standing my ground for all men out there that are being accused of things that they didn't do, and society just assumes they're guilty. Things need to change.
That's right, Steph B.
I've never been convicted of any crime. there's never been any valid evidence of me doing anything wrong. So what? I said some choice words. I was in an emotionally upset state because I was concerned about the paternity of my kid.
Hmm?
Any man would freak out.
I hope you heard the justification. So Justin is now saying that it's perfectly fine for a man to be incensed to the point where he is verbally abusive in front of his own children when it comes to being challenged about paternity. So now that's another weaponizing. He's now focusing on men who have received what we in Jamaica call jacket. And when you get a jacket, which means that you get somebody else's kid that's passed off as yours, you are entitled to then turn around and be abusive to the female who has deceived you. It's a justified act of abuse, is what he is saying. Really? Huh.
I have no heart. No, that's not true. I have extreme empathy, sympathy. I really do. But I'm also a man who stands up to bullies and injustices, even at the detriment of myself. That's what's wrong with people. That's what's wrong with our entire world right now. People see people doing wrong, and they don't stand up to it. Yeah, they're all blaming me for something. It's ridiculous. If you watch what the toxic bloggers are saying, they've been planning this shit for months. Because they're gearing up toward it. They post fake text messages that I sent. They're constantly accusing me of things. Why? Because I am the truth. I'm a living proof of the truth and the lies. So therefore, they have to discredit me.
I want you guys to listen to what he just said. Listen to what he just said.
Why? Because I am the truth. I'm a living proof of the truth and the lies.
I am the truth and the living proof of the truth and the lies. Can somebody in the comments tell me what line that reminds you of? I'm telling you, psychology at work. I want you, one of my graduates, one of my clever graduates. I am the truth and proof of the lie. I want you guys to write.
Constantly accusing me of things.
What does that line remind you of?
Why? Because I am the truth. I'm a living proof of the truth and the lies. So therefore, they have to discredit me.
Who is Justin aligning himself with? And I don't even understand if you guys realize how deep. All right, Josie. See one clever graduate there. I wonder if one of them real Christian, they can actually type out the line. I am the truth. I am the way. See, Tiano? All right. The truth and the life. All right, Josie. Yes, sir. Them say Jesus did say that. Okay. Justin, you are comparing yourself to the sacrificial lamb, aren't you? I am the way, the truth, and the light. You are comparing yourself to Christ. You are really using the psychological words that are necessary to pull across the right support. The fascists, the extremists, This is what I'm hearing. First, you aligned yourself with a time frame where the Confederate flag was flying high, which meant no foreigners, by the way. They were pro-slavery. Then you had this whole argument, us against them. Okay, maybe you were talking about Korra's followers, but the subliminal, the whole thread of your conversation. Then you are now talking about I am the way, the truth, and the light. And we all know that the extremists tend to Bible bash a lot. So you are being crucified. Huh? No, sir.
It's a play-by-play.
Jaja. Correct, bro,
I'm gonna
Shaka.
do this over and over again. The only thing I want to do is co-parent my daughters in peace, live my life in peace, and give them the best life possible. And the only way to do that is to co-parent in peace, which I've been preaching publicly and privately for years. But mental health disorders, like multiple personality disorders, they can't grasp that.
Huh? See the little smirk? Did you see that smirk? Backside. So who have multiple personality disorder and mental health disorder? Who has not been, who has gone undiagnosed, but yet he has his diagnosis?
There is such a thing as karma. I totally believe in karma. If you're doing evil shit, it's going to get you in this lifetime or the next. I'm not perfect, but I don't know what I did in a previous lifetime to deserve all this.
I
don't know. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I say things in anger that I shouldn't, but that's kind of a normal human experience. But I
justifying again, because there's nothing ever wrong with Justin. I've done this, but this. No remorse. No, I'm sorry. Justin, you're making it so hard for us in the diaspora to actually stand by your arguments. I have done this, but it is normal to do this. There are lots of people who may have gone through this and may not have reacted like you. That's not abnormal, is it? You showed a lack of control, which is human, but it shows that genuinely you are flawed like everybody else. We are flawed. There's no but. Show it again. Hold on.
Kind of a normal human experience, but I treat people with love and respect.
Let's go back.
I don't know what I did in a previous lifetime to deserve all this. I don't know. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I say things in anger that I shouldn't, but that's kind of a normal human experience. But I treat people with love and respect. And all I want to do is make a meaningful impact on my life. Because I'm very good at what I do. And I like to share it. And I like to help people out.
So straight away, once again, he's talking about his work, how good he is, and so on. So I've done something bad. Let me just show you very quickly how this is called, he's removing blame. He's shifting blame shifting. So he started off by talking about, he's reminded about his flaw. His flaw was that he lost his temper. He swore in front of his kids at his wife, right? When they were going through their thing. And he then justifies that. He says it's a normal human behavior. He's conscious in the back of his mind that he's still being judged because of it. So then he reinforces that by coming back with, I do great things in my workplace to make himself feel better. That's him soothing his ego and building himself back up after he felt he may have dropped a peg. Okay? That's the act of blame shifting, meaning that it's your fault why I did what I did. And therefore, I'm exempt because normally I'm a kind person and I'm good at my job. So I've got all this good stuff going on. And if you weren't in the picture, I would not have behaved the way I behaved. That is the typical behavior of blame shifting, which is also a key marker when it comes to an abuser. Telling you this after years of study in domestic abuse. Yes, because I was a domestic abuse officer. And that's one of the things that we look for.
I like that. I like to spread my reach on people that I can help. So at this point, justice for Justin, because this is insane.
Oh my God, did he just refer to himself? Did he just refer to himself in the third person? Did he just refer to himself in the third person? Justice for Justin? Seriously? That's arrogant.
I appreciate all of you guys that have brain cells and you use them and you can see this for what it is.
Reverse psychology. I appreciate those people who have brain cells and who use them. So if you go against him, you're not using your brain cells, right? If you are against him, you're stupid. Do you hear me? Okay? That is reverse psychology right there. And this is the kind of thing that Justin does that makes people think he's manipulative. This. Just say what you have to say, now, brother. What is with all this jargon?
Is calling me, so I gotta go. She must be done with her breakfast.
Are you hearing June crying in the background? It's a bit low, so you may not hear. Is it June or is it Athena?
She does her morning routine. She's got her waffles and she's got her Dora the Explorer. She's a happy camper. She's in her high chair.
In her high chair. And she was in her high chair for the whole duration of this.
Don't fight with people, guys. I wish everyone the best, even the people that hate me. I wish them the best. They're going to continue to spread a smear campaign. A smear campaign is something when you try to discredit somebody's character over a long period of time. And it's working. It's working. People are believing that I'm this monster that I'm not. Which I truthfully don't care what people on the internet think.
That's a lie.
But over time, it does get really annoying.
So then you do care. Contradictory.
Exactly. Green cards are not for sale.
Listen to this part. This is the part I was waiting on. Listen to this.
Exactly. Green cards are not for sale. American citizens in here, they're watching my story unfold. You should be pissed that a foreigner comes in here and takes advantage of the system and just pisses on America on a daily basis.
What? Where's that while ago, Justin? So you started off putting yourself in the time frame of the Confederates. You talk about us against them. You talked about the fact that there are people here who are taking advantage of taxpayers' money. You then went on to talk about comparing yourself to Christ, using the words of the Bible and twisting the words of the Bible to suit your narrative, but using a very key and pertinent line, right? That aligned yourself with Christ. And then now, what you said, Justin? Let me pull up that.
American citizens in here, they're watching my story unfold. You should be pissed that a foreigner comes in here and takes advantage of the system.
Blatant discrimination. Blatant racism. And any of you people who claim to say that you are for Justin, if you deny this, you are a little more than dense. A little more than daft. If you can't see this in your face. He has now called rallying the troops, as my commenter would say. That Gary said it. He's calling for the troops. to come forth because they must be pissed. That's weaponizing again. That a foreigner, did you hear that language? And he's looking dead in the eye. Look at his eyes.
They're watching my story unfold. You should be pissed that a foreigner comes in here and takes advantage of the system and just pisses on America on a daily basis. So anyways,
Yes, he did say it.
I'm gonna go take care of my daughter. I have a patient, some patients here soon.
There he goes again, about the patients. There he goes again. So he goes from that really deeply racist comment, that discriminatory comment, that anti-migrant comment, and he builds himself back up in your eyes by referring to the fact that he's a good father, by going on to talk about the fact that he's got patients waiting, right? Because by always reminding you about those things that he's good at, it removes the mess of what he just said. It's erased it in his head as important. He's put forward the values that you guys like to see, particularly in a white male. Sorry, guys, the live had disconnected like a muppet. Can you guys see me? Please tell me that you can see me. Can you guys see me? I nearly have a heart attack a while ago to Rastaja. No, we didn't go well. I got to back scope. All right, we back. Oh, Christ. Look here now. My heart goes so good. And we're back. All right, let's go.
It's time
No?
to do what's right. Harassing people on the internet is not a victim, it's crime. I have gone through stages of depression. I've gone through stages of anxiety. When I was being harassed that first year, I would wake up every single morning with my heart pounding out of my chest because it was like, what lie is going to be said today? And I developed hypertension.
Listen.
Coming, Athena. I developed hypertension. My health really.
How many minutes in now? 21 minutes in.
Now.
Athena is still screaming for her dad, sat in a high chair, wanting him to come forth and get her. She's obviously eaten her waffle. She's done whatever she's had to do in that high chair. And 21 minutes in, because she's been screaming for her dad from the beginning. And we're 21 minutes and 52 seconds in. And she is still screaming, Dad, Dad, while she's in the high chair. And he's here paying attention to his audience, trying to reassure you that he wants to be a good dad and da. Is his actions matching up with what he's saying? Is his actions matching up with what he's saying?
was just harassed by Congress, where Zuckerberg had to apologize to families of kids that were bullied on Facebook and killed themselves. This is not victimless crimes.
Keeps going for the whole argument. Again, calling on some of the worst cases.
This is beyond.
What's he doing when he does that? When he speaks about those terrible cases that have led to, you know, children losing their lives, etc., he's minimizing what's taken place with Korra. He's minimizing it. He's making what happened with Korra less important, less significant in comparison to what's happened in those extreme cases. That's why he keeps reaching for it, because he's trying to put that to the forefront of your mind and to trivialize what has taken place with Korra.
All you Africans, all you
very late, Jane. Coming soon done.
You should be ashamed of yourselves. You're embarrassing yourselves to the world. And I love Nigerian culture. I'm still a Ketchiku. I still identify. When I meet Nigerians, I still introduce myself as a Ketchiku. How far? I love Nigerian culture. I integrated it into my life. Like, it'll be part of my kid's life. But those of you out there perpetuating hate, you are an embarrassment to the country. Nigerians.
Listen to her, Daddy.
Perpetuated because of your guys' behavior.
So now that's the next weaponize. So he weaponized on his side. Now he is using the language of colonialization. Yes, he is. He is talking down to Nigerians. He's saying that because of Korra, they should be ashamed. So he's weaponizing Nigerians against Korra. He's saying, here I am, an Oyibo, talking about you people, that she has made me think this of you. Therefore, you guys should be angry at her for how I perceive you. Divide and rule tactics. Turning them against each other.
Start acting like citizens of the world and stop acting like the stereotypes that is your culture, that has been associated with your culture. I love Nigerian culture. I love Nigerian food. I love Nigerians. Like, just stop it. I understand I'm white. I'm a weeble, but you're embarrassing yourselves for the world to see. So I'm out of here. I gotta go get.
And then he keeps saying that he's got to go get the girl, and he's got to go get the girl. I'm going to stop it here because he carries on for another nearly 5 minutes and he still hasn't got the child until the very last moment. Let me stop this share. How can you say that you love Nigerian people? How can you say that you love Nigerians? You've integrated it into your life. But yet you just used such discriminatory language in that live. You claim that you have only love for people, but then you are talking about the fact that foreigners have come to America and you're saying they're pissing all over America. Think carefully about what it is that you've just said. How do you really and truly regard that mother of your children, who is a part of their blood? If they listen to this when they become young adults or even teenagers, they are going to see how you perceived their mother as a foreigner who should not have belonged. And as they are part foreigner themselves, what are you telling your children? You spoke in anger, and I know that's how you're going to justify it. But sometimes when we speak in anger, what's real and what's true comes right out. Kind of like when we're drunk, right? That was a bit too far. It showed your insides. And even if I really wanted to defend you at this point, I'm stuck, because how can I defend somebody who would have had me gladly removed if I was in the States? Right, so let me take a look at some of the comments because we're winding down to the very end of class. Okay, so now do you see, for those of you who are very unused to Head Teacher K's approach, yeah, I speak some hard truths. about both sides. But by the end of the argument, I come down on the side that I wish to, because I get convinced by the evidence that's there. Sometimes some of you are too quick and too jiggy with your fingers to run out rather than pay attention. Okay? Yes. So while I'm going to say this, I do not believe that Justin had anything to do with what happened to Korra. I don't think so. But likewise, I do not believe that he's innocent of all the things that Korra has said about him. I also don't believe that Korra is innocent when it comes to her embellishing of stories in the past. There's been evidence of it. But it does not mean that what took place on this time was a cry for wolf. I believe that on this occasion, it was very much real, and a reality check for her as well. And that it's important that we allow justice to take its full course. These two can go at it all they want and say what's real and what's not real. But some of the bloggers are running with false narratives. You have no evidence either way. Yes? These two have a history. They're going to say all kinds of horrible things towards each other. Their breakup is very public. So all the pain, all the hurt, all the bitterness is going to come out at one point or another. And even if Korra is silent, Nancy won't be. So I'm saying that bloggers need to be a bit more responsible with how they handle the information. Take it for what it is and analyze it for what it is, and don't create or spin narratives. Hard to do, some of you Nigerians who really and truly do like to spin narratives. I've seen the evidence of it. Let's be credible with how we represent. I'm not making anything up. Anything I've said is what I've heard. He's said it, and then I did my analysis. And even if it's loaded by my opinions, it's still backed by the fact that he said what he said. So I'm saying that neither of these parties are innocent. But when it comes to what took place in London, let us give Korra the benefit of the doubt and allow justice to take its course. If Justin plans to come out here and speak his truth, don't expect that it's going to go well. When it comes to what he considers to be cyberbullying, it's only going to ramp it up. And that's a shame, because that's the rub. You cannot control followers. You can't control what they say and what they do. The most we can do as platform holders, if we're not happy, is block. But when it comes to what they do on other platforms, you still have no control. So instead of taking it out on his ex-wife, it is my opinion that it should be taken out on the bloggers who are defaming his character or twisting narratives for a quick penny. It's important that this misguided anger is directed at the true source of the maligning of who he claims to be. But the more you come out, particularly when you are full of emotions, the more we see that there are things about you, Justin, that just isn't adding up. And the things that you're accusing Korra of are very, very much present in your very own personality. Anyway, guys, the people who will suffer are those children. The people who will suffer are those children. Let's take a look at some of the comments before I go. Right, so what did Justina say? Justina's a whole mess. I'm seeing all kinds of things. What did Justina say? I'm scrolling back up. Oh, just... I just did it. Justine, I look here now, man, and it confuse me, you know. But come here, look, me start scroll up. Come here, I wonder what Justina said in the comments. We never know say Justina, you know, bad like yours. I don't think Justin had anything to do with the attack. I feel he has deep-rooted resentment for Korra, so he doesn't care if anything grave happens to her. So what did attract him to this foreigner? That is a good question. You make it look like there was absolutely nothing. Remember, him say if he could have do over in life, he would have never repeat it, which I guess means he might have wish away those kids. Me happy I don't date out of my culture because me not take no disrespect for nobody. Why? When you say ancestors, then would that turn over? I have no problem with biracial dating or biracial relationships. I just think that they have to be considered a bit more carefully than somebody who is in your culture or and I would say culture, not necessarily race, because I personally struggled when I was with somebody within my race but was from Africa. East Africa, to be specific. I found that there were things that, yeah, we had in common, and there were things that we were polar opposites, mate. You know, and it was a struggle. So I think really it's about more cultural affiliations than anything else. That connection is quite important. So when you don't have that, you have to work harder on your relationship. So the patient is still waiting. Lord Jesus. Oh my, I'm getting anxiety just watching this. I could never leave my baby unattended for this amount of time. I told you. Yeah, that lots of the things he says doesn't match up with what he's doing, right? Oyimbo means white person for those who don't know. Yes, it does. He reminded me of Trump. Mighty God, what a comparison, no, sir. Boy, teach, if I wasn't watching you, I would never be listening to this man. I understand, Debbie. But it's interesting to listen to these things and to analyze them sometimes because there are lessons, there are life lessons here to be learned, and there's stuff that we may have to end up teaching our kids because a lot of us have children in foreign countries where they will end up in biracial relationships, and it comes with a lot of dynamics that sometimes they're not prepared for. You know what I'm saying? It sounds good when him say him love Nigerian people. Yeah, that's why him say it. But yet, does he really? The guy is scared about something. Scotland Yard might find out soon. Well, Brenda, I can tell you this behavior is not going to stop him from being investigated if he has anything to do with it. Scotland Yard will turn that over. He seems scared that what he may have done or plotted with others to do in the past is about to come to light with this new investigation. Well, as I said, I personally don't think he has anything to do with it. I've seen no evidence of that, so I am not going to make that claim. If it comes out, it comes out. That would be a hell of a plot twist. Some people listen to respond, not necessarily understanding what is said. So true. Uh, what is that saying? All this with him concentrating on his ex every day. Boy, I'm telling you, I don't know how Summer tolerate all this discussion about the ex. She must be so fed up of having Korra in her life, because I don't think I'd be able to cope with a partner who was so hung up on going after his ex. It would drive me mental because it's like, listen, just go sort your stuff out. When you finish, come check me. You understand? I couldn't deal with that, right? He was asked not to go public with the breakup, but he had plans. Yeah, I only hope they're not putting down each other to the kids. Steph, that's a whole other cup of tea, my dear. What a disaster that would be. I really understand what you are saying, Teacher K, but I don't listen to a lot of people. I get it. Some are black, yes, some are look just like she looked just like what's her name? I split an image. Yeah, she and Kora. Then could have passed her sister. He has a type. He has a type. He has a type. You understand? Them favor bad, 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 bad. Right? But I think she was born in the States. She's a Southern girl, right? As opposed to coming straight from the motherland. So there is a difference. All I know is that these two had better hurry up and get it sorted, right? Because it's not a good look. It's not good for the children. The children are going to revisit this at some point. It's a permanent tattoo on the internet. And it's such a shame that it had gone from this idyllic couple to now this disaster, that suddenly it's gotten so bad that he's referring to his ex as a foreigner as opposed to just to Kora or the mother of my children. You know, it's a shame. Yeah, it's sad. And I really hope that the woman that he's with is paying attention to it, because you may be born in America, my dear, but you've got ancestors that certainly came from the motherland too. Anyway, big up on a nice, clean self. This is your girl, Head Teacher K. Like up the live as you exit. Bye-bye.